We are ready, sir.
Thank you, sir. At this time, I'll call to order the regularly scheduled board meeting for the Village of Midlothian, Wednesday, March 10th, 2021 at 7 p.m. Roll call, please. Clerk Moskal.
Trustee Caveney. Trustee Crowley.
Aye.
Trustee Gillis.
He said here.
You're muted, Chair.
Trustee Ivan.
Aye.
Trustee Killily. Trustee Kreis.
Here.
And I'm here. Thank you. I got you, Trustee. Thank you. Is Trustee Caveney join? Okay. Mayor LaRue.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you, sir. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Mayor? It sounds like there's a slight delay on some of the trustees' response.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's not the same problem we had before.
How am I sounding, everyone?
Aye.
Perfect. There was no delay.
But not everybody answered though.
Well, we're going to find out as we go through the trustees.
Okay.
I answered.
Let the record show that Trustee Caveney is here. I declare at this time an in-person meeting is not practical or prudent due to the coronavirus pandemic.
You have a quorum verified by audio or visual confirmation.
Thank you, sir. Deputy Clerk PULASKI, was there any comment from the public?
No, there was none.
Thank you, ma'am. Then we'll move on to tonight's consent agenda. On tonight's consent agenda, number 1, approval of the qualification-based selection policy. Number 2, approval of resolution 21-0310-A, authorizing the Village of Midlothian's participation in the 2021 program year Cook County Community Development Block Grant Program. Number 3, approval to renew the 2021 Village Landscaping Agreement with Roy Erickson Outdoor Maintenance. Number 4, approval to execute the Braniff Communication Outdoor Warning Siren System Maintenance Agreement with Braniff Communication. Number 5, approval of the January 27, 2021 board meeting minutes. Number 6, approval of the February 3rd, 2021 committee meeting minutes. Number 7, approval of the February 10th, 2021 board meeting minutes. Number 8, approval of the list of bills. Is there any item any trustee would like off of tonight's consent agenda?
Mayor?
Yes.
Could we take off the landscaping bill, the landscaping contract for discussion?
Yes. Anyone else?
Mayor, number 8, approval of the list of bills, and I believe Trustee Killily has also joined us.
Trustee Killily, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Let the record reflect that Trustee Killily is also joining us by phone. Is there anyone else with anything off the consent agenda? All right, then I am looking for a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda without item 3, approval to renew the 2021 Village Landscaping Agreement with Roy Erickson, and also number 8, the approval of the list of bills. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
I would just have just one comment on item number 1. I looked at the policy. Thank you, Maria, for getting it in policy format. But could the clerk's office just date the policy with today's date?
Yes, we can do that.
After it's approved. Any other discussion? All right, roll call please, Clerk Moskal.
Trustee Caveney.
Aye.
Trustee Gillis. Aye. Trustee Crowley.
Aye.
Trustee Ivan.
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
Aye.
Trustee Kreis.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, sir. At this time, I'm looking for a motion to approve the renewal of the 2021 Village Landscaping Agreement with Roy Erickson. Motion.
Motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. Discussion, please.
Okay, this is the discussion. We didn't see this until it went on the agenda on Monday, and does not include the remulching line item for the rain garden that we had included last year. I sent a note to Joe and to Trustee Killily, and said that the mulching needs to be, it needs to be addressed every year. I don't know that the whole rain garden, all the landscape islands need to be mulched. Maybe they just need to be raked, but we still need to include that. And then there was also the matter of the knotweed. At the end of last season, Trustee Kreis said that the vendor she had engaged to take care of the prairie garden mentioned that there was the knotweed that's in the northeast corner growing up around the old light pole is a big problem, and that needs to be addressed. So I suggested that we get a quote, that we get a quote from them to look at that, and Trustee Kreis suggested that we get two quotes, one from her vendor and one from Roy, which is fine with me, but that needs to be addressed as well, because otherwise that knotweed's going to take over the whole place.
And Superintendent Sperry responded, saying
Yes, he
that
did.
he would take care of that. He wanted to get
Yes, he
this
did.
original contract approved so that they can move forward quickly with the spring for the lake.
Yeah. Yes, you didn't let me finish my spiel, but that was
Okay.
going to be the end of my spiel, that Joe did respond that he needed to have this done. But I just wanted to let the board know that we need to add these other items to our annual contract
And
in some form or fashion. And let me back that up. This work needs to be added to the list of work that needs to be handled every year, whether it's on a Roy Erickson contract or whoever's contract it is, that needs to be addressed.
And also watering all of the planter boxes, that will be negotiated as well. Anything else? Anyone else?
Nope. No.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please. Clerk Moskowitz.
Trustee Ivan.
Aye.
Trustee Cavaney.
Aye.
Trustee Crowley.
Aye.
Trustee Gillis.
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
Aye.
Trustee Kreis.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, sir. At this time, I'm looking for a motion to approve the list of bills.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
I'll second.
Discussion, please. Trustee Kreis.
Yes, as I reviewed the bills, I believe there is a clerical error or typo on Attorney Valadez's bill. It indicates for the excluded items, they were billed at $160 an hour versus $150 an hour. So I believe that bill needs to be adjusted 17 and a half hours, reduced by 17 and a half hours at $10 an hour. So the bill should be reduced to $175.
Actually, that is the rate increase that went into effect for both myself and Mr. Murphy back in November, or I believe it was late October. If you recall, Trustee, I declined to accept that increase until the new year, given the circumstances of COVID and the lack of revenue that the village was bringing in. I declined to take the additional $10 increase until the new year.
I don't recall the board approving it. I recall approving the increase for Mr. Murphy. I don't recall approving this or this coming before the board for a vote. I could be incorrect, but can we find that in the minutes?
We probably could, but you are incorrect. Again, I explained to the board that given the circumstances of the drop in the village's revenue as a result of lack of revenue from COVID, that I explained to the board that Mr. Murphy, who was getting paid $150 an hour, which is probably $60 to $70 below the rate for his experience, as well as my experience. But however, since I have a retainer that the village agreed to, I was able to ship things into the retainer agreement and then able to decline the additional $10 until January. And that's why there was an increase.
I'd like to see the minutes before, I would. I am not disputing it. I could be incorrect. I don't recall, do any of the other board members recall approving this?
Was this something that we voted on?
Trustee, do you believe that Mr. Murphy, as a contracted attorney, should get $160 an hour, $50 below his rate, but that the village attorney should not?
That's not what I'm saying.
I'm looking at an agenda item here on August 19, 2020, and it says approval of contract rate adjustment for Peter Murphy. It doesn't, as far as I see it, I'm looking here, it doesn't have anything for Attorney Valdez. I'm not saying we shouldn't do that, but if we didn't approve it, then we should approve it.
Okay, anyone else?
Can we table this part of the bill till next week then, so we can investigate and not argue about it?
Well, we have a motion and a second. We could move forward to vote. So, any other discussion?
Can we amend the motion in the second then to delete the attorney bill so we can move forward and approve the bills, if it's an issue?
That is your prerogative, yes. You can amend your motion in second. Who made the motion?
I believe I.
Tammy.
Trustee Cavey made the motion.
Yes, she did.
Are you planning on to amend your motion?
Let's amend the motion to exclude the attorney bill and so we can approve the other bills.
And who was the second?
Trustee Crowley.
Trustee Crowley, are you willing to amend your second?
Yes.
Okay. Then we are moving, taking a roll call vote on the list of bills without taking away the village attorney's bill or invoice or check. Okay. Roll call, please.
Trustee Cavey.
Aye.
Trustee Crowley.
Aye.
Trustee Gillis.
Aye.
Trustee Ivan.
Aye.
Trustee Killeley.
Aye.
Trustee Kreis.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you all. Moving on to trustee business, Trustee Kreis.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple updates, and I'm assuming you saw the email from the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning, Mayor, that was sent to both you and I yesterday. Unfortunately, CMAP notified us that they are not going to be able to fund the capital improvement plan that a grant was submitted for. They had 38 applications. So again, we applied, but we did not receive it. And I know everybody is applying for everything they possibly can for these pro bono services. The Invest in Cook application will get submitted on Friday for the Phase 2 engineering to Cook County for the Natalie Creek Trail, and the mayor signed the cover letter today. Thank you. And as I talked about at committee last week, Keep Midlothian Beautiful is working on the recycle event on April 24th. And again, we will have electronics, 1 TV per household. This is going to be limited to Midlothian residents only, as we discussed last week. Pharmaceuticals, textiles, our Recycle Rita Sarni was able to get DART container to come with the truck to collect styrofoam. So everybody start accumulating your items, and that event will be in the Metro Lot from 9 to 11, and that is all I have this evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Trustee Ivan.
Just more of an FYI, the broadcast that we're doing now, there's been some issues with Facebook again. So the video is choppy on Facebook, just an FYI. And that's it for me.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Gillis.
I have nothing this evening, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Kaveny.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of things that Superintendent Weinert wanted me to bring up. First of all, Engineer Huss did reach out and he advised that it looks like the village might be able to apply for one of the MWRD grants, but we'll wait to discuss that when we get to Engineer Huss's portion of the meeting. Superintendent Weinert advised that the building department is getting monumental number of phone calls from residents and people complaining that the amount of election signs in the parkways are ridiculous. So he said the candidate signs are to be placed on private property, not in parkways. Signs in the parkways are considered trash. And he said that phone calls have been off the hook. So if anybody out there is listening and you're aware of a candidate who's got a sign in the parkway in front of your property, please ask them to come and move it.
Are we going to remove it if they don't?
Is that normally something the village does? I don't recall.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay, well then the village should do that then. I'm not in favor of sending out a team specially to do this because our staff and the police department staff, and I'm sure Public Works is, pretty thin on all the regular day-to-day jobs, but certainly I will advise the building department if they're out and about, if they see a misplaced sign, to please remove it. And if police and public works crews would do the same, that would be great.
Public Works.
But I only have two part-time code enforcement officers, and they're pretty swamped right now. And I don't know that they have time to go canvass the whole entire village to pull out signs that are not where they're supposed to be.
Kathy, I received a call from a resident on Friday night, I believe it was, about a sign in the parkway, and I believe the police took care of it on Saturday.
Okay, thank you. So,
Anything else?
we are waiting to get the ordinance for the alley vacation for 147th Street between Springfield and Avers. I believe the board approved that a while ago, a short time ago anyways. So we're still waiting to get the ordinance to get that handled. And I think that's all I have right now.
Thank you,
If I
ma'am.
think of anything else, I'll raise my hand.
And, okay. Thank you, ma'am. Trustee Gilly.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Crowley.
Thank you, sir. Just a couple things. The other day, I think it was yesterday actually, I sent a copy of a bill that I received for our annual renewal of our firewall. It is $510. It is a budgeted item, and so I just wanted to make the board aware of that. Also, I wanted to remind everybody that we are having our junk in the trunk. We're going to do two this year through the CPC. The first one is going to be on May 1st, which is also our Mars Day. I'll have something out. We'll have something to post on the village website and Facebook pages shortly on that. And finally, I just wanted to thank each and every person who participated in our vaccine event at Bremen High School last Friday. I've received an overwhelming amount of thanks and letters to each and every person. Our village staff was stellar and outstanding. We certainly couldn't have done it without them. District 228 staff, I don't even know what to say. Everybody we talked to, everybody that I had the privilege of having a conversation with that day said the same thing, that it was well organized, nobody had to wait, and everybody seemed very happy with the event. We were able to get 1,000 people in 1B primarily our seniors vaccinated. And so, again, thank you to everybody. The shots were provided by PULASKI, and we just had, I thought it was a great event. I know the whole village board participated in making some phone calls and telling people. I can't say enough to Gary and Karen, and I'm sorry, Gary and Kathy and Alan for coming out and helping me that day. Chief Delaney, thank you very much. I'm going to leave out a ton of people, so I just want to say thank you to everybody, because there were so many people that were involved in making this day happen, and so many of our residents were appreciative. That I'm just very humbled by it.
Yesterday, there was a newspaper article from the Southtown, I believe, that I saw on Facebook about the event. I believe that article mostly covered the district's event that happened on February 11th and then March 4th, and it might have touched on our event on March 5th, but I'll tell you, it was just an outstanding event.
There was an article in the Messenger today about it too. So. Oh,
really? Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
So just like I said, I can't possibly thank every person who participated. It was probably one of the best events I've ever.
Well, Sandy, hats off to you and Jamie, because you guys
she is an amazing person. I'm hoping we can steal her from District 228 at some point.
Yeah. And Sandy, I want to say that you were relentless in your pursuit of the Pfizer vaccine.
It was definitely a phenomenal event. I have received numerous correspondence and feedback about what a great event it was. I was going to read to my business, but I'll go ahead. I just want to read a couple of them into the record. This one is Mr. Mayor LaRue and the Village of Midlothian. Thank you for the organization and facilitation of offering the COVID-19 vaccine. The process could not have been more efficient, which is a big deal for taking my parents, aged 87 and 85, to participate in receiving their vaccinations. Also, thank you to the many helpers who were out there. Everyone was so friendly, kind, and helpful. It was a good feeling all around. Many, many thanks, Dr. Susan Keelanton and parents Robert and Darlene McMillan. And then here's another one addressed to Superintendent Kendall, Midlothian Police Department, and Mayor Gary LaRue. Gentlemen and staff members, my husband and I are residents of Posen, Illinois, and today we received our first doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. We are very thankful for your participation and organization of this all-important task necessary for the herd immunity of this awful virus. Since we are both over 65 and have health issues, today was a godsend for us. We are very impressed with the efficiency, cleanliness, friendly attitudes of all concerned. As we approached the entrance, me with my walker, we were immediately met by a security team member with a wheelchair. He was kind and also funny, which he was, and took me directly to the vaccination area and assured me he would return to take me back out to the car when I was finished. The vaccination itself was quick, painless, and the administrator had a big smile and welcoming attitude. All the personnel, police, security, school, and medical staff members were smiling, friendly, knowledgeable, and helpful. Thank you once again for the opportunity you provided for so many seniors, like my husband and myself. Sincerely, John and Anita Mazur. That's just two of the many that we've received. So thank you everyone that had anything to do with it. It was just a phenomenal event. I look forward to the 26th.
Yeah, it was, I have to agree, and it was a little humbling to, I had a woman, as she was walking out, touch my hand, and she looked at me and she said, I don't think I ever thought I'd see the day that our police chief would be pushing someone in a wheelchair to get their COVID vaccine shot. Mm-hmm. And I got a little emotional. And then she looked at me and said, and I think your hand is the first hand I've touched since this all started. Oh. So it was, very, very emotional.
Okay. Anything else, Trustee Crowley?
That is all I have for this evening, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Let's move on to department heads. Chief Hotwagner?
Yes, sir. A couple items. Just a reminder to residents that daylight savings time begins this Sunday, March 14th. Yes, spring up. Remember when you change your clocks, to change your batteries and your smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. And secondly, we just received a bid proposal from Anthony Roofing. That's the same roofing company that completed the village roof replacement at our village hall complex. That bid was sent to our insurance adjuster to see how much of it would be covered. Once we get it back and we find out what's going on, we'll bring it to the board. But we did get a bid. That's all.
Thank you, sir. Chief Delaney.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Last week, I had an annual staff meeting. At the staff meetings, we always announce the Officer of the Year. And we have a lot of great officers, so it was pretty tough to narrow it down to who it was going to be. The criteria that we use, or some of the criteria, is professionalism, attendance, leadership, proactive activity, and performance. Again, like I said, they made it very hard, so we ended up going with co-officers of the year this year. Two of them were very deserving. So the officers of the year this year were Caitlin Brill and Tom Scully Jr. So congratulations to them. Thank the entire police department for being hardworking, and it's nice that we have to have such tough conversations to figure out who it's going to be every year, because we have so many great workers here. So thank you to that, and that's all I have.
Thank you, sir, and congratulations to both.
And Chief, I hear when we are back to normal, we'll be visited by both officers of the year at a board meeting when we could go back in person, correct?
I have a very humble staff that often doesn't like to be celebrated.
I think we'll make an exception.
I'm definitely putting it on Facebook, and hopefully we could talk them into something in person at a later time.
Thank you, sir.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Superintendent Weiner.
Nothing at this time, sir.
Thank you, sir. Superintendent Sperry is on vacation. Is Ty here? No? Okay, Engineer Huss.
Thank you, Mayor. I just had 3 points I wanted to touch on briefly. We just opened bids for the sanitary improvement project that was planned on being awarded tonight. There was a small typo in the bid. It's all been worked out, but with Superintendent Sperry not here, I didn't want to rush between Maria, Ellen, and I. So we're just going to put that on the meeting 2 weeks from now. And then the CDBG application was approved on the consent agenda, so that will go in tomorrow or Friday, which is its due date. And then the bigger update I wanted to provide, which Trustee Caveney talked about earlier, is I was able to attend the webinar for the MWRD Stormwater Partnership Program. Wanted to provide an update on how that stands. We talked about applying for either Bremen Heights area or Belly Button Hill. I think the consensus was Belly Button Hill. The webinar was kind of wishy-washy. The term structural flooding was thrown around, which is not, in a ironic way, not as heavily applicable to Midlothian as we would like it to be from a grant standpoint, not from a resident standpoint. But at the same time, the grant application reference impacts the contents within a structure and not just structural damage. And also one of the flooding types was roadway flooding that prevents access to emergency vehicles and prevents access to critical facilities, which I think definitely does apply to the village in the worst cases. So that coupled with the very short application, I think it's something that is worth the time to go for. I was going to work with Trustee Caveney in the next day to just get a couple more points, but I have everything I need to put the application in. We do not need cost estimates. The 2 points, the 2 projects they fund, the terms they use are shovel-ready projects and conceptual projects. Conceptual projects can be phase 1 or 2 engineering. We'd be applying for a conceptual project. It would be kind of phase 1.5 to phase 2 engineering. We wouldn't have to propose a project cost. I think this application system is more of a kind of a gatekeeper, and they will initiate further discussion with project they find attractive. So I think it's worthwhile, and I think we can have it in on Friday.
When is it due to be turned in? Friday?
Correct. Midnight on Friday.
Okay, very good. Well, I'm going to work with Engineer Huss to try to get him some additional photographs that we have collected from the last two big storms that we had last May, which were May 17th and May 23rd, I believe. It was a Sunday and a Saturday. So,
I think I sent you the ones I had for that, Kathy, right?
yes, you did. You were the only one that sent me photos. So I will dig through the other photos that I have as well, and we will get those over to Engineer Huss, and we're off to the races.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you very much, Engineer Huss, for doing this legwork for us.
Thank you
Of
so
course,
much.
thank you. And unless there's any questions, that's it.
That's it? All right, thank you, sir. Treasurer Britton?
Thank you.
Nothing, Mr. Mayor?
Deputy Clerk Kulaki, thank you, ma'am. Deputy Clerk Kulaki.
I have nothing.
Thank you, ma'am. Attorney Valdez.
There's a big delay.
I would just echo the praise that resulted from the way that the village performed in issuing the vaccines on Friday. There are some people who I have friends in the community who also who know I am associated with the village, and they just wanted to say what a wonderfully smooth and competent job it was done by the village. So congratulations, a job well done.
Thank you, sir. Under my business, just some breaking news. If you haven't heard already, the U.S. House of Representatives did pass the stimulus bill. It would be on the President's desk for signature, I think, by Friday. I received word today, and I just wanted to thank. Can you, Nick? Can you mute? It's not him.
I believe he's still talking.
Yeah.
Technology is so wonderful. All right, anyways, let me get through it before.
That was the delay part.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just want to thank Treasurer Britton, our department heads, our staff for keeping meticulous records. Also, I know that Cook County Board President Preckwinkle, as well as the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus and the Illinois Municipal League have fought so hard for municipalities, especially the small municipalities all across the state. Received word today that once the bill is signed and put into action, the village will receive over $1.7 million in revenue and stimulus money to reimburse us for our losses due to the COVID pandemic. So thank all of you, Treasurer Britton and the department heads and everyone that had a hand in all this stuff. But that's huge news. It's going to go a long way to helping out the village of Midlothian cover those losses. And thank you. That's all I have. Clerk Moskowitz.
I have nothing tonight, sir.
Thank you, sir. Seeing there's no further business going for the board, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Be safe.
Everybody can-
Stay healthy.